Good evening and welcome to Premier League Live here in LFS this evening. It's Wednesday night and it's our second night of midweek Premier League footballing action as we're at Anfield this evening as the league leaders Liverpool look to take another step closer to their 20th league title and a second league title in 5 years. Their opponents tonight, a Newcastle side who they will face in the League Cup final in just over 2 weeks' time, and off the back of a big result at the weekend, definitely have Champions League football in their sights for next season. Kick-off between Liverpool and Newcastle is at 8:15 this evening, but there are already 4 games underway in the Premier League this evening. These are the scores from those games. Brentford 0, Everton 0 at the minute. It is Manchester United who were 1-0 down to Ipswich, now 2-1 up in that first half. Philogene Bidace gave Ipswich the lead. Sam Morsey with an own goal and Matthijs de Ligt scored the 2 Manchester United goals, so United lead by 2-1 against relegation battlers Ipswich. In the Arsenal game, where of course we're keeping a close eye on that one tonight with Arsenal chasing Liverpool for the title. They face a Nottingham Forest side who have also got Champions League football in their sights. They're in third, so it's second v third. At the City ground at the moment, it is still goalless, and just the 1 goal in the game between Tottenham and Manchester City. Another cracking clash this evening, as Erling Haaland, on his return to the Manchester City team after being missing for the last 2 games for City in the Premier League, he gets a goal this evening. His 20th Premier League goal of the season. Inside 12 minutes, it's still Manchester City who lead by 1-0 there against the Tottenham side, who are on a good run of form. 3 Premier League wins in a row. Tottenham, part of their best form in a long while in the Premier League for Ange Postecoglou's team, but losing at this moment in time. So we will keep you up to date with all of those games throughout this evening. Any goals, any updates, we will bring you right up to date with them. But here at Anfield, we want to start the build-up. We want to get ready for this game. 8 minutes until kick-off at Anfield. And before we build up to tonight's game between Liverpool and Newcastle, we've got to take a look at the title race and how it's going so far and what kind of the setup looks like at the moment. Liverpool with just 11 games to go. There is the setup. So tonight's games are there. On the graphics. So 11 games for Liverpool. They find themselves 11 points clear at the top. That is, of course, before kick-off in this evening's games. The Reds need to win just 7 of their final 11 games to claim the title, and that is if Arsenal continue to win on that run alongside Liverpool. They also play each other at Anfield on the 3rd to final game of the season on the 10th of May, or that weekend at Anfield, which could be a decider, or it could be a crowning moment for Liverpool. Who knows? We will see. But of course, looking at those games, there's actually not an easy run for either team towards the end of the campaign. We look at Liverpool's games and maybe a few more winnable ones in their next couple. After the Newcastle game tonight, they've got Southampton, who are bottom of the table, a Merseyside derby, which is always a test, Fulham away, which is a difficult one for them, but maybe expected to win that one, West Ham at home expected to win that one, but West Ham upset Arsenal at the weekend, so you never know. A trip to Leicester as well for Liverpool, and then their final 5 games of the season, barring that final game against Palace, where they're expected to win, those four of those final games are really tough. Tottenham at home, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, of course, and Brighton away. Some really tough fixtures for Liverpool towards the end of the season. But mathematically, they could have the title wrapped up if things go their way. By the time they play those final 5 games, there is a mathematical kind of combination where that could happen. But we'll not get to that point right yet. Looking at Arsenal's, they have some really tough games as well to come. They've Forest tonight. They would really desperately need 3 points there if they're going to really keep any sort of hopes of clinging on to Liverpool at the moment. They head to United the weekend after this weekend. Then Chelsea at home is their game in hand over Liverpool. And then play Fulham, Everton, Brentford, Ipswich and Palace, which are games they're expected to win. And then the final 4, Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle at home, and then Southampton away on the final day of the season. But you look at those fixtures from Arsenal, they're not easy, very far from it for a few of them, but some they should be winning. And at this point, there is no easy game, as the game against West Ham showed at the weekend. Arsenal probably expected really to win that one. and really not given that chance. So as I said, Liverpool need to win 7 of their final 11 games. There's their list again. 64 points, a plus 38 goal difference, which is 10 better than Arsenal at this moment in time. That's the way the title race looks. Let's have a look and see kind of what the game looks like for tonight, Liverpool against Newcastle. This is how they match up. This is, of course, as of 7 o'clock this evening, with all the other games in progress. We can't really update it live, so this is before kick-off in all of our early games. Liverpool, the top scorers. They conceded the second least goals, the most clean sheets, the joint second most in terms of hitting the woodwork, which is quite a lot. The most shots, of course, the most wins, and the least amount of losses. For Newcastle, mid-table or Europe pushing in a lot of those categories. They are 7th for goals, joint 7th for goals conceded, joint 5th for clean sheets, joint 6th for hitting the woodwork, 10th in terms of shots, so effectively probably more threatening with their shots than others. Winnings in terms of 6th in terms of wins, and then 14th in terms of losses, so very mid-table or Europe pushing for losses as well. Positions, of course, before kick-off, 1st and 6th. Let's have a quick focus at some players before we get the team news, because we're rattling towards kick-off. Mo Salah. I mean, you got to talk about Mo Salah when you talk about Liverpool. Scored and assisted versus Manchester City at the weekend. The 49th league game of his career that he has done that. Scored and assisted in the same game. He's the league's highest scorer and assist provider. 25 league goals, 14 Premier League assists. And he scored 39% of Liverpool's 64 league goals this season. We were going to do a piece on Isak, but I'll tell you why we're not anymore. Let's get the team news from Anfield. Starting in goal for Liverpool, I'll tell you about that in a moment. Arne Slot, who begins serving his 2-match touchline ban tonight. He makes 2 changes to the Liverpool side, who claimed their first league victory at the Etihad in 9 years on Sunday. Alisson starts in goal. A back 4 of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk the captain. The only change to that defence is Robertson out for Kostas Tsimikas. A same midfield with Gravenberch and McAllister in a defensive 2, with Szoboszlai in the 10. Luis Diaz is off the left, Mo Salah off the right, and Diogo Jota comes in place of Curtis Jones. On the bench for Liverpool, Kelleher, Endo, Nunez, Chiesa, Jones, Gakpo, Elliott, Robertson and Kwanzaa. Well, Eddie Howe makes 2 changes to his team, who won a 7-goal classic at the weekend against Nottingham Forest, with the Magpies coming out on top 4-3 in the end. The big news is that Alexander Isak misses out completely with a groin issue. Pope starts in goal. Livramento, Schär, Burn and Hall in a back 4. Tonali comes into the side alongside Bruno Guimaraes in a defensive midfield 2, and Guimaraes the captain, with Joe Willock in that 3 alongside them. Jacob Murphy on the right, Anthony Gordon off the left, and Callum Wilson makes his first Premier League start of the season up front. On the bench for Newcastle, Dubravka, Ruddy, Trippier, Target, Kraft, Barnes, Longstaff, Miley and Osula. It is Liverpool against Newcastle, regarded as the entertaining game of the season. They certainly entertained us in the reverse fixture. 6 goals at St James's Park in a 3-3 thriller. We will see what will happen tonight. Kick-off at Anfield between Liverpool and Newcastle is next. Good evening and welcome to Premier League Live this evening. It's Liverpool, it's Newcastle, and it's the Premier League Live on LFS. Great to have you with us this evening for this one. Our referee, Stuart Atwell, our VAR, Matt Donoghue, and we'll keep you up to date with the VAR action. Hopefully very little to none of that for us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. Well, Liverpool, their fans at the Etihad were convinced. They were starting to sing, "We're going to win the league." They believe now. Can they take one step closer with a big 3 points here against a very good Newcastle side tonight? As we get the game underway here at Anfield Stadium, Liverpool had their only league loss of the season. Unbeaten away from home and just the 1 Premier League defeat here. So not often at all many teams, or any team other than Nottingham Forest, get 3 points out of Liverpool. And certainly not in the Premier League terms. But tonight it's all about Liverpool trying to march towards a title. They won their first league title in 30 years 5 years ago. They want to make it 2 in 5 years. And actually become the only side other than Manchester City to win the Premier League title all the way back to 2017. Was the last time anyone other than Liverpool or Manchester City won the Premier League title. First minute already up. Newcastle with a throw-in given away there as Diaz pressed well. Well, Liverpool's performance. Oh, Tsimikas there trying to play the ball forward. Caught out by Murphy, but will win the throw-in there for Liverpool. One of the changes to the Liverpool team tonight. Tsimikas in for Robertson. Had to make up for a little error early on there. But Liverpool's performance at the weekend against Manchester City, probably one of their best defensive performances of the season. And how well they defended Manchester City. And out of possession, how disciplined they were. Just quite remarkable to watch how good it was from Liverpool's point of view at the weekends. Their first win at the Etihad in 9 years in the Premier League, since before Pep Guardiola was the City manager. It's the first time Liverpool had beaten him on his own patch in the Premier League at the Etihad at the weekend. So some symbolic moments this season for Liverpool. It's been a real symbolic season for Arne Slot's team. Quite an incredible season up to this point. It's not on the touchline tonight. Arne Slot with the news confirmed a little earlier on that the FA have charged Arne Slot with a 2-match touchline ban. So we will miss this game and the Southampton game here in 2 weeks' time. Here's Jota finding Salah. Lays it off for Alexander-Arnold. Tries to go with the 1-2. Salah brought down. It's going to be a free kick to Newcastle. It looked like Mo Salah was brought down, but the referees completely made the opposite decision. See this again. Does Mo Salah pull Lewis Hall before Hall trips Salah up? Is it a pull from Salah in the early parts? Got a bit lucky there. They got the free kick, Newcastle. Referee Stuart Atwell. No penalty, free kick to Newcastle. We have massive news to tell you from the Old Trafford. What a first half it has been there. 3 goals and a red card now. Manchester United down to 10. Patrick Dorgu, their January signing, sent off a VAR check. Initially, the yellow card was given by the referee, but upgraded by VAR. And Manchester United down to 10. And I'm just hearing we think there's been a second goal as well for Ipswich. We'll get to that in a moment, because here come Liverpool and Diaz. Just evaded him. Good through ball. Diaz just couldn't control it. We'll update you from Old Trafford as soon as we have more news. Here is Willock. Blocked well there by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He had a tough weekend, Alexander-Arnold, in his one-on-one duel with Jeremy Doku. That's a lovely turn by Jota. Linking up with Salah. Diogo Jota. Just behind Diaz, that ball. Will keep it in play, the Colombian. Nice Tsimikas. And across now to McAllister. Liverpool trying to regain a little bit of control in these early stages. Diaz. Off the left side. Tracked all the way by Livramento. Infield to McAllister now. Konate across to Alexander-Arnold at right back. Liverpool controlling the ball and the possession early doors. Diaz lays it off to McAllister there. They're all the Liverpool outfield players planted in the Newcastle half at the minute. Newcastle bodies behind the ball. all 11 bodies really behind the ball at the minute. Doing to Liverpool what Liverpool did to Manchester City at the weekend. Can Liverpool have a little bit more creativity than City did in trying to break down that low block? Salah. Marched back by Hall. Alexander-Arnold. Going to switch the ball to his opposite fullback, and Tsimikas with a first time pass to Diaz. Diaz trying to spin away from trouble. Finding McAllister. Again, Konate. Now out wide to Alexander-Arnold again. Liverpool continuing to push and probe in and around the final third here. Alexander-Arnold spotted a little pass. Find Gravenberch. Now Szoboszlai. Now finding Van Dijk. Really pushing high here, Liverpool. Tsimikas tried to squeeze that one through to Diaz, and Livramento was there to clear it out for the throw. Goals elsewhere. Ipswich have equalised against Manchester United. It's 2-2. Jadon Philogene with his second goal of the evening has Ipswich on terms for the second time tonight. It is 2-2 there at Old Trafford. And a goal to tell you about in one of our nil-nillers. It is come at the GTEC Community Stadium, where it is now half-time in all of those games. And Johan Vissa, 4 minutes into the end of the added time in the first half, has given Brentford the lead. Brentford 1, Everton 0 in that one. So 0-0, or half-time, sorry, in all of those early kickoffs. And we'll update you with the second halves when they get underway. Van Dijk back to Konate. Now Alexander-Arnold squeezes it through to Szoboszlai. Rolls it out wide to Salah. Trying to return the ball. Well, blocked again by Hall, but another Liverpool throw-in will come. Liverpool 88% of the possession in the first 7.5 minutes, so completely dominant on the ball up to this point. Newcastle United sitting off, just allowing Liverpool that time on the ball for now. Kind of a 4-4-2 out of possession here for Newcastle at the minute. Willock just dropping in alongside his midfielders there. McAllister, well tackled by Tonali, but again Alexander-Arnold picks it up. Finds the space. Finding Szoboszlai, who was pushed over, but no foul. Then Jota's there for the counter, but gives it away cheaply. And now Tonali breaking free. 4-on-4 here for Newcastle as Murphy tried to go for the first time cross. And that's the first sign that the weather might cause an issue tonight. Slipped on the ground, lost his balance, and the ball went flying over the bar. Again, it was good work on the counter there. It's kind of it was a 4-on-4, but a lot of the Newcastle bodies around the back post, and Murphy was very wide on that right side. As he tried to get the cross in, the turf just couldn't stick beneath his feet. He slipped and lost his balance as he tried to deliver it. And it was flying over the bar. Here's Murphy again. Out wide now to Livramento. Share there, trying to link it up with Murphy. Not worked out too much on that ball forward. But we'll go behind for a Liverpool goal kick. Well, Newcastle up and down really in their form after an incredible winning run of 8 and 9 games in a row they had won. They've been a bit up and down since then. They've lost 3 of their last 7 in that run. Lost 4-0 to City, 2-1 to Fulham and 4-1 to Bournemouth in 2025. Just 2 league wins in their last 5 league victories. So here comes Murphy down the right hand side. 10 minutes gone. Newcastle starting to show themselves a little bit more now. Murphy still going. Gets the ball into the box, and Alexander-Arnold was there in time to get it away. And now McAllister threads it through to Jota. Little bit of space here. Jota finding Diaz down the left flank. Diaz breaking into the box. Luis Diaz with a cutback. Szoboszlai! 1-0 Liverpool. He is certainly, in terms of scoring goals, Dominik Szoboszlai, he makes it count when he needs to. That's his third successive goal involvement for Liverpool. A goal and assist against City at the weekend. And trends continue for the Hungarian as Liverpool take the lead. Back to front, quality football from Liverpool. Fully deserving in the opening goal. Again, it's too easy really from a Newcastle point of view just to allow Diaz to stride into the box. And the cutback is there. And no one tracking Dominik Szoboszlai in the box. Breaks away from his man too easily and strikes it straight, low, hard, right through and beating Nick Pope. And Liverpool take the lead. Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 0. And Arne Slot watching from the heights. Spots that and spots a tactical tweak in the moment there as Liverpool take the lead. And that's certainly got them going, although here's Callum Wilson on the counter. So Newcastle want to respond right away. Murphy, low cross, cleared away by Van Dijk. Well, clear of danger there from the Liverpool captain as he thumped it into the stands. Into the main stand here at Anfield. Well, that was the first shot of the game, quite intriguingly. One shot, one on target, one goal for Liverpool. Here is Gordon. That's good defending by Ibrahima Konate, and the last touch came off Anthony Gordon there. That was really good, strong defending from the Frenchman against the Newcastle man who has been linked with a move to Anfield previously before signing a new contract, of course, and of course played for the other side of Merseyside in Everton previously before making that move to Newcastle. Has some certain links to the city of Liverpool, does Anthony Gordon. Where he was born and raised. Here is Van Dijk. Cross to Tsimikas. Down the left side. That's nice work from McAllister to hold off his man and space to break. Diaz down the left flank again. Chops inside Livramento. Luis Diaz in the box. Tried that cross again. And it's just well defended, but McAllister battling to win it back again. Enticing from Liverpool. Although they didn't win the ball that time. Wilson. Bit deeper. Byrne now. Through to Hall. Down the left it comes. With Willock. Infield to Tonali. Back to Joe Willock on this left flank now. Has to turn it back to Dan Byrne. And the crowd jeering and booing as Newcastle have the ball. This is a riled up Anfield tonight. As I said, those fans really truly started to believe at the weekend this is their year, this is the year that they're going to see their side win the Premier League title in front of their eyes. And that's why this stadium is rocking. Here is Jota winning the ball back well. And Diaz does well to find the space for McAllister. He will just recycle it back to Gravenberch. Now out to Alexander-Arnold. Well, that is Liverpool's 100th goal in all competitions this season from Dominik Szoboszlai. The only Premier League side to achieve that so far this season. They've hit a century. Well, quite a lot of the season still to go. Liverpool still over 3 months of the season or so to go. Van Dijk back to Konate. Alexander-Arnold One interesting thing I've picked up early doors here is that Alexander-Arnold's the fullback that's staying alongside his two centre-backs for Liverpool, and Tsimikas that's making the breaks down the channels and going further forward, where usually you would see it the opposite direction. Alexander-Arnold's more free-flowing, and Robertson usually, or the left-back, is usually the one that stays back with the two defenders, two centre-backs, but the opposite way so far tonight. Salah chips it back under pressure to Alexander-Arnold, who will fizz one out wide to Tsimikas. Acres of space here, finding McAllister. Back to Van Dijk. Again, they're sitting off again, Newcastle. Not a real high press at the moment, as Gravenberch carries it through, and it's dumped away by Newcastle as Kanate stepped in and maybe overcommitted a slight bit, but Newcastle far too deep to really cause any sort of problems on the counter-attack on that occasion, and Liverpool can just easily recover the ball. It's far too deep, Newcastle, at the minute. Oh, Gravenberch there gets caught in possession. And now Anthony Gordon plays it through for Callum Wilson, who misses the target, but it didn't matter. He was offside. Goodness me, it was an awful finish, that. Great ball by Anthony Gordon. He was offside, clearly. I'm sure he's quite happy that he was offside, because he tried to chip Alisson and he completely directed it wide of the post. He absolutely toe poked it. And usually you say a toe poke with a big toe. It was his wee toe he toe poked it with. Absolutely sliced that one wide. But he was offside nonetheless, Callum Wilson. Jota. Tsimikas. Nice link up with McAllister there. Diaz. Nice football from Liverpool. As the wind is caught there in the Diaz switch ball. Alexander-Arnold brings it down deftly. Does really well in possession and is brought down and wins the free kick for Liverpool. That was really good work from Alexander-Arnold. Good hold-up play. Tsimikas feeds it down the left channel here for Diaz. Liverpool on the move quickly. Diaz back to Tsimikas. Low cross. Cleared away by Newcastle. And he's going to give away a cheap foul there, and Anthony Gordon is the Greek. There was really no need to get involved with that. Liverpool were recovering the ball there, and Tsimikas just got a little bit excited and committed a bit of a challenge unnecessarily on Anthony Gordon. Guimaraes back to Cher. Goes long. And an angle one. Gravenberch does well in the air, and Szoboszlai defensively there just recycles it back to his goalkeeper. That's another thing that Liverpool are really incredible at this season, is their balance in both attack and defence. The way their midfielders can both be really positive attacking forces, but also really solid and really disciplined defensively, and winning the ball and gathering the ball and keeping the ball for Liverpool. It's just that real all-roundedness of the Liverpool midfield that creates that balance in the team. And it creates that overload of numbers tracking forward and running forward, but also that overload of bodies tracking back when they give the ball away. And it's that balance, both in and out of possession, that has Liverpool at the heights that they are. And of course, a lot of quality and hard work mixed in, but that balance is certainly, Liverpool have certainly hit a sweet spot, really, on that level. Alexander-Arnold trying to swing one for Salah. He was onside, and Salah got it back to Szoboszlai, who tried to get somewhat of a deflection. That ends up going out for a goal kick. So far, Trent Alexander-Arnold heavily involved in the game, as you would expect. Had a lot of defending to do off the ball at the weekend against Manchester City. The whole unit of Liverpool were so defensively solid. Man City could have played between then and to tonight and still probably wouldn't have scored against Liverpool. How well organised they were. Out of possession as McAllister gives away a cheap foul there in the midfield, around about the halfway line. .20 gone. Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 0. The second half's underway in a couple of those early games, so we'll keep you updated. Long ball forward. Cleared away by Szoboszlai. That defensive now. Diaz, lovely little flick past his man. And Liverpool with space here. Jota, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Diogo Jota across, trying to find Salah. And that's fabulous defending by Lewis Hall to get it to his keeper. The break from Liverpool, absolutely blistering. Diaz with a little flick, and it just opens a massive hole in the Newcastle press. And Diaz does really well, feeds it to Jota at the right time, and Jota didn't want to take the shot, decided to pass it to Salah, and in the end Lewis Hall was in the right area at the right time to defend that situation quite perfectly. Every time Liverpool come forward, it's not relentless attacking threat from Liverpool, but every time they come forward it's measured, it's really well thought out, and they're not forcing the issue by any means, Liverpool. It's just so efficient at this minute in time. Van Dijk and Konate will give it back to Alisson with Callum Wilson on the press. First real example of Newcastle pressing Liverpool high. As Alexander-Arnold back to Alisson again. He'll return it back to the right back, and now Konate will take it on the run. And Ibrahima Konate charging forward here. He's broke free. Finding Salah. Through to Jota. Just behind Diogo Jota. That would have been a wonder goal if that had went in. As Diaz wins it back again. Now McAllister tried to hit it one himself there, as Diaz will pick it back up. At the minute, one-way traffic at Anfield. Liverpool sustaining and maintaining possession. Tsimikas. McAllister back to Van Dijk. Between the lines was Gravenberch facing his own goal. Quick first-time passes from Liverpool. Gravenberch. Out wide to Salah. Up against Hall. Mo Salah driving infield. Jinking his way through. Salah trying to find the ball. Oh, Hall just got back in. Well defended again from Lewis Hall, and tries to find the out ball here with Gordon. Does well. And on the spin, Murphy just kind of brought down there by Dominic Szoboszlai. And a free kick to Newcastle United. I'll tell you about another goal at Old Trafford in a moment, as the second half's just underway there. But here's Willock. Now Hall. Back to Guimaraes. He will switch it back round to Fabian Schär. He's the deepest man at the back there for Newcastle. Goal I can tell you about at Old Trafford, and is a third goal for Manchester United. Harry Maguire has the third goal, so 10-man Manchester United are back in front against Ipswich Town. 3-2. Massive high-scoring game, that one. 5 goals and a red card, and they've only started the second half. Here's Gordon on this right side. Anthony Gordon in the box. Konate had to make a challenge, and McAllister to clear it away. Jota trying to break. He was held there, and it's going to be a free kick to Liverpool, which Newcastle are not particularly happy with. See it again. It's a tussle between Schär and Jota, and Schär was slightly holding Jota as he tried to spin away. And the ball was there to win from both players' point of view. Yeah, he's just dragging him back, and the ball's just sitting there waiting to be taken on. And it is a foul. Van Dijk over the top to Salah. Hall again defending well in there. And Szoboszlai beaten by his man, and Bruno Guimaraes wins a free kick. Finding Willock up against Alexander-Arnold. Willock does really well against Trent Alexander-Arnold, but Liverpool man gets back in and puts it out for a throw-in. Well, the crowd were signalling there before the referee did. A foul throw to Newcastle from Anthony Gordon. Liverpool will get the throw here. That foul throw. Throw in for Alexander-Arnold to take. So Szoboszlai will give it back to Alexander-Arnold, who tried that fierce ball up the top there. Newcastle win it back. Guimaraes through the lines, finding Murphy, who was clipped by Tsimikas. No foul as they continue to attack here, Newcastle. Tonali. Willock. Wide on the left is Gordon. Must have cycled the ball back to Byrne, and now Share. Out wide to Livramento. Finding Murphy. Trying to go over the 1-2 with Guimaraes, and Murphy wide. Murphy with a first time cross. Van Dijk's clearance not the finest. Guimaraes forcing it through and blocked off by a few bodies as Szoboszlai tried the through ball to Diaz just behind Luis Diaz. It's a couple of turnovers there. Newcastle have it again. Murphy. Livramento. Wide on the right. And a bit stodgy, the turf at the minute. A couple of those through balls just not finding their targets swiftly as expected as Willock down the line. Stays in play from Gordon. Infield to Willock again, who's in the box, and well challenged in there as Gravenberch leads it away with Salah, and Jota brought down on the turn. Salah trying to win the ball, but that's Newcastle on the cover that win the ball fairly according to the referee. Jota again in the mix of that one. Konate did well on the half turn there, defending that through ball. He's got a bit open in the last few minutes. Alexander-Arnold's ball got past McAllister, and Diaz trying to win it, and still going Luis Diaz. He's charging away here. Diaz still going. Luis Diaz cuts it back to Tsimikas. Kostas Tsimikas absolutely ballooned it well wide of the goal. This from Luis Diaz. Initially, Alexander-Arnold's ball is just a little bit short for Diaz. It goes past McAllister. They mismeasure the length of the ball, and as Diaz tries to win it back, he fiercely gets there ahead of his man in Livramento, charges away, and every time you think, oh, it's a heavy toucher, he's going to lose the ball, he just charges right through into the box. And as he reverses the ball into the path of Tsimikas, he unleashes one with the right foot, which in true left-back style left a lot to be desired. Goal kick. Well, there's a man who knows how to find the back of the net, Sir Kenny Dalglish. Certainly one of the best at finding the back of the nets. Certainly one of the best at this football club. Alexander-Arnold with this throw. Liverpool over 70% of the possession in the first 30 minutes or so. Throwing a bit short, allowing Newcastle to play one in behind. And Wilson, the flag stayed down for now. Callum Wilson! Another big miss. And I think the flag was staying down. Another big chance missed from Callum Wilson. This one, it's a first time ball in behind. He's well onside. Konate was the last man for Liverpool, and he was well onside there. And it was fabulously timed run by Wilson as he breaks through one-on-one with Alisson. He tries to angle it to the far corner. He angled it so far wide, he was almost putting it to the corner flag. Really poor finish from Callum Wilson again. Albeit his first Premier League start of the season, he has had a very stop-start season. 4 separate injury issues in the last 12 months. A massive injury that had him out from the end of July to mid-November, and then an early one in late November to mid-February. So has been tarred with injury this season. Not able to get involved in the team very much so far. Wilson, as he's trying to cause problems here, and Ibrahima Konate is going to win the free kick for Liverpool as he was pulled down in his own box. Yeah, it's well held by Konate and Van Dijk there, and Konate ends up being tugged to the ground by Wilson. And a free kick for Liverpool. And so far, Newcastle probably have reacted well to going behind. Liverpool have still had a lot of control and a lot of the possession and a lot of the positive play in the game, but not many clear-cut scoring chances since the opening goal for Liverpool, which is a test to Newcastle defensively, really. Salah trying to go himself there with a high ball in the air. It's always a defender's ball, that one. Easier to defend than it is to attack, as Alisson committed to a long kick there from the through ball from Newcastle again. They're trying a very direct approach, Newcastle. Not wasting time, not waiting around. Trying to catch Liverpool out. And a couple of times they've had a little bit of joy, but so overall, Liverpool have just looked controlled defensively, as you would expect. Gravenberch there was pulled by Willock. Another foul given the way of the home side, which Eddie Howe is having a little chat with the fourth official about. Fourth official this evening, Darren Bond, who will have to hear all that conversation. Well, he will have to listen to Eddie Howe. He won't have Arne Slot to listen to. It will be Johnny Heitinga, who's on the sidelines for Liverpool this evening, with Schipke Hulshoff and Arne Slot, the head coach and the assistant head coach for Liverpool, both in the stands tonight. So Johnny Heitinga is the one on the touchline for Liverpool. There's a vast majority of his career at Ajax. A coaching career, 41-year-old. Gravenberch tried to reverse that one round the corner, but sloppy to McAllister, and now Newcastle trying to break. Guimaraes looking for options. Down the right channel finds Gordon. Anthony Gordon trying to squeeze his way through. Good work from Murphy. Guimaraes forced that one. And now Gravenberch tries to dart one in behind for Salah. That's a little bit too much of those. Salah head off Nick Pope, but Salah was there, and it put Nick Pope in a bit of bother. Goodness me, Gravenberch's ball a bit overhead to Salah, and as Pope tries to clear his lines as he committed for it, he tries to clear it long, and he hits it straight at Mo Salah, but the sheer pace of it when it comes off the left arm of Salah, it just goes behind for a goal kick, but that was more positive from Salah. Not giving up on a ball, even when it looks like it is gone. Mo Salah is just an absolute machine this season. As I said, 41 goal involvements this season. Absolutely sensational stuff from him. And no wonder he's the bookies' favourite to win the Ballon d'Or this season. 41 goal involvements. He's the only player in Premier League history to register 40 goal involvements in 2 separate seasons. unbelievable. That's just remarkable. How incredible that is. I mean, every week you're hearing Mo Salah's broke another record. It's relentless how many records he's broken and how many he holds as Jota wins it high here for Liverpool. Bodies forward, Diogo Jota rolls it across Szoboszlai. Oh, was a whisker away from adding to already his goal that he scored this evening. Nice work from Jota, lovely footwork, squares it across for Szoboszlai, and he's trying to go for the whip one to the far corner, and it was ever so close. Whisker away from a brace for Dom Szoboszlai. Seen a real upturn in his form in the last few games, the Aston Villa game and then the City game at the weekend. Certainly two of his most impressive performances of the season, both on and off the ball. Of course, no doubting his off the ball abilities. His running ability out of possession is quite remarkable, but his on the ball stuff has certainly been a lot more consistent in the last few games. Salah does well from that control. Mo Salah still going high, I don't know, as he was just lost the ball at the last second there. Almost like he run into the challenge and somehow the player of Newcastle there was just invisible and run through him, Mo Salah. He ended up losing the ball in the end, but just sheer endeavour. McAllister tried one in behind there. Sneaky reverse ball. As well spotted by Dan Burn. 8 minutes of the first half to go. It's a cracking first half so far. It's flew by, really, to this point. Just the sheer quality of both teams so far. Majorly Liverpool, but certainly Newcastle looking at a threat themselves. Switch ball there from Cher. Bounced away from Lewis Hall's boot and cleared away by Alexander-Arnold for a throw into Newcastle on the halfway line. No more updates to tell you from those other early kickoffs, all still the same at the moment. Brighton 1-up against Everton, 3-2 is Manchester United's lead against Ipswich. Man United down to 10, still 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, and City 1 goal to the good against Tottenham in North London at the moment. That's where we stand in those early kickoffs. As it stands, with Arsenal drawing and Liverpool winning, Liverpool will further extend their gap at the top to 13 points tonight. If the results were to stay as they are, Liverpool will be on 67, Arsenal will be on 54, and there would be, Arsenal still have a game in hand, but they'll be running out of games. As Diaz, nice work on the turn there. Luis Diaz off to Salah. Mo Salah tried to go for the whip one, just couldn't keep it down and couldn't bend it to that far post. It was again really good work down the left channel. Simicast with a nice dart of ball into Diaz's path. He was more central than usual, and on the turn does really well Diaz to break in behind, and he squared it right out to the far right side for Salah. He tried to whip the ball himself to the far post, just off target. As Pope goes long with his kick. Brought down well there by Willock, who got the better of Szoboszlai, but the through ball easily recovered by Van Dijk. Alexander-Arnold down the right channel for Szoboszlai. Gives it back to Gravenberch, and now Virgil van Dijk. Well, Newcastle's last win at Anfield, I've got to tell you, it's a long, long time ago. You have to go all the way back to April 1994 since the last time Newcastle beat Liverpool on this ground. It was a 2-0 victory in that season. That's the only time Newcastle have beaten Liverpool in the Premier League era here at Anfield. Liverpool have won 6 of the last 7 games at home against Newcastle. The only blotch to that run was a 1-1 draw back in April 2021. They've won 2-0, 4-0, 3-1, 3-1, 2-1 and 4-2 in 6 of their last 7 meetings between the two clubs here at Anfield in the Premier League. Free kick for Newcastle inside their half. Livramento will take. Goes long. Van Dijk up in the air and went down there, Virgil van Dijk with Dan Burn. Bit of a heavy one. Dan Burn was up there. I think he might have had the last touch there, Burn. Or maybe not. Yeah, he just kind of cascades into Virgil van Dijk there. Dan Burn. Certainly no doubting their height. So the free kick was actually given against Newcastle there. But Virgil van Dijk, of course, a stalwart of this Liverpool team, the captain, one of the most reliable players in the squad, against probably one of the tallest men in English football in Dan Burn. Was always going to be a great tussle. Salah there just showed the ball to Lewis Hall, which he will take all night long, sliding it out for a throw-in. Probably the best way to defend Mo Salah, try and get the ball out for a throw-in. Van Dijk. Diaz. Back to Virgil van Dijk. McAllister. Again. Liverpool continuing their trend of a first half with dominant possession of the ball. Konate across to Alexander-Arnold. Swings the ball out wide to Szoboszlai. Kept it in play on the touchline, or on the sideline, and wins a throw-in there off. I believe that was Sandro Tonali. It was. Konate. Alexander-Arnold with a nice through ball. And Gravenberch on the turn. Well dealt with that time. Not many teams able to deal with that turn. And Newcastle did well on that occasion. And Cher will pump it long. Van Dijk full control as Diaz squares it across. So there's now a foul on Alexis McAllister. He was brought down. And another free kick to Liverpool. Bruno Guimaraes giving away the foul this time. Yeah, it was good work from McAllister. Shields the ball and then tries to break for it. And that's where the foul comes in. Arne Slot still sitting quite relaxed in the stands there, in the main stand. Usually you would see at this point of the half the manager who's suspended kind of dart it down into the changing room for half time, but not really feeling a need, it seems. At the moment, Arne Slot might take a leisurely stroll down to the Liverpool dressing room for half time. Last minute of the first half here. Van Dijk to Tsimikas, back to Virgil van Dijk. Oh, got a bit loose on that ball. It's not quite the switch ball you would usually see of the Liverpool captain. Given away here. Hall. Guimaraes. Lewis Hall goes back the way with it to Cher, and now Livramento. Into Guimaraes. Well challenged by Jota. Guimaraes does well to hold on to the ball and gets it back to Fabian Cher, but Jota was like a rabid dog trying to win the ball back there. But it was very well shielded by the Newcastle captain. 1 added minute at the end of the first half, and there's Arne Slot on the move. 1 added minute then at the end of this first half, where it's been a lot of Liverpool and a smidgen of Newcastle, shall we say. The scoreline maybe not reflecting it as massively as you would expect, but Liverpool with overall control, vast majority of the chances. Just really not comfortable for Liverpool, because here's Joe Willock brought down well, edge of the box. Willock trying to dribble his way through, but Alexander-Arnold gets in there and Alisson can pump away. Last few seconds, there is the end of the first half. The whistle goes, and a pretty calm and contented Anfield at the break. A first half where it was a lot of control, a lot of possession, and a lot of dominance from Liverpool once again, as you would expect in their home games, with them 11 points clear. But at the moment, Newcastle keeping themselves in the fight at this moment in time, despite only having one shot in that first half registered. That was well off target. Half-time at Anfield. It's Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 0. Analysis and a look around the grounds on the way very shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time at Anfield. It's Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 0 at the break. Dominic Szoboszlai's goal in the early moments of that first half, for 11 minutes, has Liverpool leading by that goal to 0 at the break. There are 4 other games that are currently underway in the Premier League. They're coming into the final 15 minutes or so of those early kickoffs. Brentford 1-0 up against Everton. Manchester United, despite being down to 10, still leading Ipswich by 3-2. Nottingham Forest and Arsenal locked at 0-0 at the minute, and Manchester City leading Tottenham by 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London. That's the way it stands elsewhere. I'm just keeping an eye on that Arsenal game, because it is the big game this evening. Arsenal, if they drop points again, at the moment as it stands, Liverpool will be extending their lead even further at the top. We will see what can happen there throughout the night. Just one more game actually to come after tonight in this Premier League midweek action. West Ham against Leicester is live tomorrow night. 8 o'clock kickoff here on LFS as we round up Matchday 27 of this Premier League week. Yesterday with some great results, some great wins at home, 3 home wins. Yesterday, some big results yesterday. Brighton and Bournemouth, 2 sides who are battling for European football for next season. And we watched that game last night, very tight game. Danny Welbeck scoring the winner for Brighton in that one. Crystal Palace absolutely thumping Aston Villa by 4-1. Villa were level in that game. It was 1-1 at one point, but 3 unanswered goals in the second half from Crystal Palace really put it to bed. And an incredible performance from Oliver Glasner's team, who are making a late push, if they can, for a European charge. You never know. No one can be ruled out at this point of the season. Aston Villa, who find themselves in 10th at the moment. A real tough position for Aston Villa at this moment in time for Unai Emery's team. Fulham bouncing back from defeat to beat Wolves, who were high off a win from the weekend, and Chelsea making easy work in the end of the bottom side, Southampton, by 4-0. So some comfortable victories last night and some close ones as well. A fair share. There's a lot of close games tonight. None of our 5 games that we have in action this evening have a margin of lead bigger than 1 goal. 4 games where the winning team is winning by a goal, and 1 game that is at 0-0 at this minute in time. So no one has any clear advantage in any of our games tonight, which makes it even more intriguing as we enter the final 15 minutes of those late games. But before we do keep an eye on those games, because we will, let's just recap that first half at Anfield, really, because it's a first half where you'd have to say it's been a lot of Liverpool, and Liverpool have had it not comfortable, but they would be contented with the way they've played in that first half. They've had a lot of possession, they've got the ball forward quickly and well, and when they've got into good goal-scoring areas, they find the back of the net. I think that will be something that Arne Slot will want to see a little bit more of, his team be a little bit more decisive in the final third. I think a few decisions they've made in the final third have been a little bit kind of overexcited when they get into those areas and not wanting to kind of take their time and be composed. I think the goal was the epitome of composure from Dominik Szoboszlai, and really well worked in that area from Liverpool, and a composed finish give them the lead. But a couple of those they kind of snatched at. I mean, Tsimikas had one that he snatched at. I think Mo Salah got it 1 or 2 as well. So there were a couple where a few decisions not going right for Liverpool. Otherwise they could have probably added to their lead in the first half. I think Newcastle, again, minimal threat really. 1 shot, and that shot was from Callum Wilson making a run in behind. It was a really well-timed run. It really should have been more threatening than what it ended up being, because he made an absolute meal of the finish, and you could excuse him, as I said, an injury-tarred season, and making only his first Premier League start of the season tonight. But you would have to argue the point that Newcastle have really struggled to get forward, and a lot of that first half was about staying in the game, keeping themselves in the fight, and not going maybe 2-0 down or 3-0 down and conceding more than the 1 that they did early on. And I think they did very well in that, but also they kind of suffered going forward because of it. So because they were so deep, they couldn't get into transition quickly, and because of how strong Liverpool are in transition defensively, they just had an overload of bodies, and Liverpool were able to just recover the ball time and time again, which meant that Newcastle just weren't able to get out, weren't able to kind of break on a consistent basis and get forward on a consistent basis, and their main focus and main threat really in that first half was all about just trying to defend Liverpool and not concede more than the 1 goal. And I think credit to them, they've done that. They haven't conceded more than 1 goal, and to be fair to them, that could have been a realistic problem to look at half-time, where they could have been further behind with the goal coming so early in the half, and how dominant Liverpool were throughout the first 45 minutes. It could have been an issue where they did have a couple of chances, but they did well at Newcastle in not conceding more. But I think for the first goal, it was actually not great defending. And I got to be honest when I say that, because I look and I think Luis Diaz has had a lot of play tonight. A lot of play down that left-hand side for Liverpool. The main focus for Liverpool, get the ball into the channels so far this evening and cut it back into the box. I've seen that a lot more often recently from Liverpool. And again, that's where the goal comes from. They break down the left side. Diaz, again, no one wants to kind of engage. Tino Livramento just steps off and steps off and steps off and continues to kind of backtrack into his own box, watching Luis Diaz, but not able to do anything against him, not going up against him and try and see him out of play, where he either kind of invites him and says, come on along, you can come into the box, and Diaz does well, cuts it back, and it's poor tracking. Whoever the man was tracking Dominik Szoboszlai, really poor defending, didn't spot the danger, didn't see there was a free man in his own box, and Szoboszlai with a cool, calm, composed finish. In form, 3rd successive goal involvement for Dominik Szoboszlai in his last 2 Premier League games. Goal and assist against Man City at the weekend, and has Liverpool ahead this evening. But at the same time, I would say, albeit Liverpool have played very well, but I don't think they've been ruthless up to this point so far. And that's something we have said about Liverpool this season, is they have been ruthless. When they've got forward, they have put the ball into the back of the net on a very consistent basis. I mean, there's no doubt that's why that's their 65th Premier League goal of the season and their 100th goal of the season. They know how to score goals, Liverpool. But what I mean was, when they came forward against Manchester City at the weekend, they were consistent, but they were very, very clinical. So they didn't have to take too many chances to get 2 goals, Liverpool, and that's where they were really cruising in that game. They hit the goals and got them in the perfect moments, and that's exactly what they needed to do. Whereas tonight, they've maybe not stepped off, but maybe felt that there's no major danger in needing to do that because they've had so much of the ball, and that's where they can get caught out, thinking they have a better advantage than they do. And we'll see how that portrays and transpires in the second half. But so far, I don't think there's been very much that Arne Slot can really argue about or really kind of be disappointed with. I think Liverpool have been quite fantastic in the first half, and they've done everything they really needed to do. And I think the crowd just kind of are contented with how their team are playing and how the season's going, really, for Liverpool at this minute in time. But I don't really think Liverpool needed to get out of second gear, or even first gear at times. Just, they were so effortless and crisp and sharp in their passing. And if they continue that in the second half, and just add that little bit extra ruthlessness to the game, they could really take it to Newcastle. But on the contrast, Newcastle keep themselves in the game. They give themselves belief for the second half that they can come back into this game, and the game is not dead and buried yet. And more contrastingly, it's very far from being dead and buried at this stage at the moment. So it is Liverpool who lead at the break, and the second half at Anfield is on the way in a couple of minutes' time. Now, elsewhere, as I said, those 4 other games currently ongoing. We have another goal to tell you about. It's come on the G-Tech Community Stadium. 2 very well-matched sides, and Everton side in some great form as of recently. A Brentford side, a slight uptick, more away from home than at home. Brentford, they came off a 4-0 victory against Leicester on Friday night, and they come into this one tonight needing a good result. But at the moment, Everton have pegged them back. In that one, they led by Johan Vissa's goal in the first half, Brentford, but Jake O'Brien has got Everton back in that game, and they are now 1-1 heading into the final 8 minutes or so in that one. So it's 1-1 between Brentford and Everton. Still, Manchester United lead Ipswich by 3-2, and Forest and Arsenal still locked at 0-0. Manchester City 1-up against Tottenham. Back to that Forest-Arsenal game, because that is, if we weren't watching Liverpool tonight, that would be our feature game because of how close the battle is, but how much it means for those 2 teams at this minute in time, this game. Arsenal, they need every win possible. They need to win every game to keep with Liverpool, to keep on the coattails. Forest, at the minute, this will be a big result for them. If they can get a good result out of Arsenal, their Champions League qualification hopes would take another step, another leap forward. Albeit they're still in and around the mix, and they can easily, if they had a bad run of form, be cast out of that battle. But at the minute, at 0-0, both sides are pushing for a late goal to try and win the game and take all 3 points. But at the moment, it is edging closer and closer to a 0-0 draw at this minute in time. We'll show you what the table looks like and how that's affected after all of our games have finished tonight and what it looks like. But at the moment, Forest and Arsenal, as it stands, will be losing more ground to Liverpool in the title race. We will see if that changes before the end of the final whistle there at the City Ground. Right, second half at Anfield between Liverpool and Newcastle, where Liverpool lead by 1-0 at the break. It's on the way very shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live, second half at Anfield, on the way in just a moment. Tomorrow night we conclude Matchday 27 at the London Stadium as Graham Potter's West Ham United take on Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester, who are in that real tussle in the relegation fight. West Ham looking to pull further away. That's tomorrow at 8. And then at the weekend, the 5th round of the FA Cup is live here at LFS, and we'll decide and tell you those games tomorrow evening, what we will be broadcasting. We'll tell you about that tomorrow. Right, the players are just coming back out for the second half here at Anfield. Liverpool 1-0 to the Goods. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. But a big second half on the cards. Liverpool with a chance, as it stands, to go further clear with a win. A Newcastle team kept themselves in it in the first half. They want to do one better and try and battle with Liverpool here in the second half. We will see if they can. As we're almost ready to go. Eddie Howe having a quick chat there with Harvey Barnes on the sideline. Maybe a hint that he will be coming on at some stage. And we'll kick towards the Kop end. Will the hosts in the second half. Oh, we didn't have a ball. Well, that would be great. It would be great to play football without a ball. That's the key component of this sport. We didn't have a football there for a second. I was wondering why everybody was waiting around. Anthony Gordon will get us underway for the second half then. Liverpool kicking towards the Kop end, which is left to right. And Newcastle attacking from right to left, which is toward the Anfield Road end, where their away fans are. This evening, Willock instantly involved here. Tonali in between the lines as there was a good tussle and a good battle, although McAllister giving away a foul there on Sandro Tonali will give Newcastle an early free kick at the start of the second half. Yeah, he just comes in there on Tonali. Makes contact, does Alexis McAllister. It is a foul. Well, it's not raining anymore, which might be a welcome for the players. It's quite lashing in the first half, which added a little extra spice to the first half. And the wind certainly added its own. Fabian Schär and Anthony Gordon over this free kick for Newcastle, very central. Trying to get the range of the distance here, probably about 25 yards. Maybe a little bit longer than that. Gordon and Schär over this free kick for Newcastle. The first chance of the second half. About 28 yards out. Here. Liverpool wall inside the D. Gordon hits that wall. Although there's a stoppage here, there's a player down to Liverpool. And it's their goal scorer, Dominic Szoboszlai, who's got a full clean whack there from the ball. See it again. Absolutely clattered in the face there. Dominic Szoboszlai went to ground right away, so Liverpool will... the game will be stopped for the Liverpool player to get a bit of treatment from the physios and the medical staff. Well, there is a stoppage in play, we can tell you. There are 4 added minutes at the City ground. It is still Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0, with about 2 minutes of the 4 added to go in that game. Dominic Szoboszlai sitting up now, which is good to see. There's maybe a little bit of blood there. Just had it all cleaned up. And he will be okay to continue now. Just took the ball clean in the face. Certainly will be a shock to the system. Well, that's what can happen. That's what can happen from a defending a set piece. Might still have a bit of an issue here with his nose. confusion there as to whether Szoboszlai had to come off there. He does. He's just coming to the sidelines, and Liverpool will get the drop ball restart from the referee, which Allison will take down. So down to 10 for the moment, Liverpool, with Szoboszlai awaiting a return after receiving a bit of treatments. It's just a bit of damage around his nose there, so he will return to the field momentarily, as Alexander-Arnold didn't catch the flight of the ball rightly there, but he did well in recovering. Gravenberch sliding in, winning the challenge, not convincingly getting it forward, and then Newcastle pump it in behind. Willock on this left channel, finding Gordon. Anthony Gordon with the ball in, flicked on, and flicked wide a goal from Callum Wilson. Now there's another stoppage here. There's a clash of heads between Van Dijk and Wilson. Very stop-start opening to this half. Wilson and Van Dijk both going for the ball. Comes off Wilson, and Van Dijk kind of got a catch on him as well. And now they're both going to have to receive a bit of treatment. A very stop-start opening to the half here. 4 minutes up at the City ground. Arsenal with a free kick. Rice sees his free kick cleared. Well, a danger, and that is the final whistle. More drop points for Arsenal. So Liverpool know that tonight, if they win, they will go 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League table, Liverpool. Arsenal failed to win for the second successive time. The defeat of West Ham and now drawing to Nottingham Forest. A big point for Forest in their chase for European football, but a big 2 points dropped for Arsenal in the title race. And surely now, if Liverpool win tonight, surely it's only a matter of when rather than if. Wilson's still receiving treatment down here at the moment, and I think the Liverpool fans have maybe just heard a sniff of that result at the City ground, because they're starting to cheer and starting to sing a little bit more than they were a minute or two ago. Of course, they know they still have to do their job tonight, Liverpool, but at the moment, Arsenal have given them another little breather. I mean, their breather's that big, they could basically take a couple of deep breaths in, Liverpool, and still be clear at the top. In terms of the gap they now see. Just see that goal again as Wilson still receiving treatment. Just a really nice goal from Dominik Szoboszlai, and I think it's quite similar to his goal that he scored against Manchester City at the weekend. Just that sweeping low hard hit with the instep beating the goalkeeper. It's just really nice kind of class goal. And Dominik Szoboszlai oozing that class tonight. He's back on the field and okay from his little skirmish a few minutes ago. And Wilson out with a little patching over his right eye. He's back to his feet and okay. But both Van Dijk and Wilson are off, so both teams down to 10 for the moment. Alexander-Arnold with a switch ball, finding Diaz, who controls it infield to McAllister. The minute Gravenberch has just dropped into Van Dijk's position until his captain's back on the field. Here's Konate. Cross now to Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch. Tsimikas, as both teams have their 11s restored, as Van Dijk and Wilson back on the field. Szoboszlai. Back to Virgil van Dijk, and Liverpool maybe starting to want to take a little bit of control in this second half. We've another goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to tell you about, I believe. I've not got confirmation of that. I'll hold on that one. At the moment, we think we might have a second goal in that one. As that ball evaded Salah, and Lewis Hall will get the throw in of that. I can confirm there is not a second goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There was a hint of it. Man City had the ball in the back of the net, but not given. Ruled out for offside. Still 1-0 to City. Not many minutes left of that game, although Gravenberch gives it away cheaply here to Wilson. Willock. Awful first control, although Liverpool a bit sloppy there in the central areas. Gives it away again. Here's Murphy. Down the right. Livramento well challenged by Luis Diaz, who can burst away with the ball now. And does well to turn back infield. It's good work from Diaz again. It's a lot of endeavour and desire to win the ball, both up the field and tracking back defensively. It's Livramento now has the ball, finding Tonali. Skips away from a challenge at Jota. And Tonali. Back now. Guimaraes with a cross, headed away by Van Dijk. Although Liverpool not able to sustain the ball at the minute. There's Gravenberch there. Again lost out to Tonali. A little bit of good play from here, from Newcastle at the moment. Guimaraes. Livramento. Murphy's cross. Cleared away by Van Dijk again, and Jota. Tsimikas clearing his lines. Just caught there as he got the ball clear of danger. Kostas Tsimikas. And a free kick for Liverpool. Jacob Murphy, the one committing the foul. As all but one of our early kickoffs have concluded, City have beaten Tottenham by a goal to nil. And Brentford and Everton find it 1-1 at the finish there. It is still Manchester United 3, Ipswich 2. Ipswich have been pushing for an equaliser for the vast majority of the second half since they went behind. But at the moment, United still holding on to that lead at this moment in time there at Old Trafford. We'll give you the final score from that one when it comes through to us. So 10 minutes gone of the second half here at Anfield, and very little of it has been actually played, because a lot of it has been delayed with stoppages for injury problems and little issues. We are playing at the minute. Throw in there from Newcastle, and Byrne moves back to Share. Now Livramento trying to charge one forward all the way through to Alisson, though, who will coolly keep the ball. Not really rush anything there. Alisson. Van Dijk. Tsimikas down the line. Diaz trying to keep it in play. Didn't keep it in play there. Newcastle get the throw. McAllister there a bit overexerting himself in that challenge again. And another free kick given away by Liverpool. A bit of a slow start from the home team to this second half. Newcastle started slightly the better of the two teams in this second period so far. And a free kick in Liverpool's half for Newcastle United. In a good area. Wide on the right hand side. Chance to whip it in. Hall and Gordon over it. Anthony Gordon, right-footed delivery. Way by Szoboszlai. Salah brings it down, laid off to Diaz, who won the turn. Tried to find it to Tsimikas, but again, got a bit loose, gives it away. Although that ball from Anthony Gordon will return the favour, and Liverpool will get the throw in. It has finished at Old Trafford. Manchester United have won 3-2 in that one, and despite not leading for any period other than that, they are finally winning the 3 points there, Manchester United. 3-2 victors over relegation threatened Ipswich. Here is Salah. Again, first real time we've seen Liverpool get out of their own half in the second period so far, as Van Dijk goes down the left now to Tsimikas. Bodies in the box. Tsimikas to Diaz, back to Kostas Tsimikas. Now Konate. Alexander-Arnold through the lines to Jota, who dropped a bit deeper, and Szoboszlai on the turn, trying to battle Tonali and Salah. First time ball, Alexander-Arnold toe pokes it towards Jota, just given away, although Liverpool back with it again as Konate clearing it out for the throw there under pressure. A little bit of apprehension about Liverpool so far in the second half, and that's why maybe they're looking for a difference, as Cody Gakpo is getting himself ready on the sidelines. Cody Gakpo, welcome return from injury when he came off the bench against Manchester City at the weekend for about 12 minutes. He got in that one. He's going to get a bit longer now tonight. Probably about 35 minutes or so he will get this evening. Gakpo, when he enters the fray very shortly, as Alexander-Arnold has a throw in here for Liverpool down the right side. Looking for options. Has to go backwards with it to Gravenberch. He will just go for the switch ball. A bit short to Diaz as the touch by Livramento. Nice work into space, although given away as Szoboszlai won it. And he was brought down quite fiercely there by Dan Burn. And the referees having none of it. Dan Burn claiming his innocence. He looked quite fierce in that challenge with Szoboszlai, who did well to win the ball off Livramento. Yeah. And see, Burn does get a touch on the ball. And just tangles himself in Szoboszlai on the follow through. There's a foul. And Liverpool with a free kick. As we hit the hour mark inside Anfield. And Liverpool and their fans singing off the same hymn sheet, both literally and metaphorically at the moment. And we have a free kick in a good area here for Alexander-Arnold. Although what would you equate to him having a good area to whip a ball in from, aren't they all? With his quality. Alexander-Arnold lifting it round the back, but that time far too close to Nick Pope. The distribution there left a lot to be desired, as Hall was well closed down by Szoboszlai for the throw-in. And they tried to take it quickly there, Newcastle, but the substitution's going to be made here from Liverpool, so that delayed that, which means sub coming for Liverpool. Diogo Jota going to leave the field of play, and Cody Gakpo is going to be his replacement. So Gakpo certainly hit one of his best seasons of his career. It's certainly his best season at Liverpool this campaign so far. Cody Gakpo, certainly an impressive run of form for him this season. Scored 8 Premier League goals this season. Scored in that League Cup semi-final against Spurs. Scored 2 goals against Ipswich in the 4-1 victory here in late January. Hasn't scored in his last 3 Premier League appearances though, albeit the last one was a 12-minute stint. Hall darting it down the left side. Willock couldn't keep it. It was just behind him, and Gravenberch coming away with the ball, but the press from Newcastle intense at the moment. Well, that's lovely from Szoboszlai. Rolls it back to Alexander-Arnold as they charge forward. But the ball from Alexander-Arnold to Salah was not quite accurate enough. Given away cheaply as McAllister wins it back for Liverpool though. A bit open here. McAllister, look at the space here. McAllister to Salah. Mo Salah in the box. Across McAllister! 2-0 to Liverpool. And Alexis McAllister, who started the move, finishes the move. And Liverpool have their second. Once again, they really haven't had to get out of first gear in this second half. And they have another goal. Their sheer clinicity and quality in the final third showing once again. And Alexis McAllister with another. Scored a crucial goal against Real Madrid here in the Champions League earlier in the season. Could this goal be a big turning point in this second half, where the game was ebbing and flowing and in limbo a little bit? Salah does incredibly well. You think he's going to shoot, he just squares it across. And McAllister, what a finish, by the way. Right footed, whipping it to that far corner, into the basically top left corner of the net. It's a beautiful goal. And once again, eternally, Mo Salah has his assists, as he has done for now a lot of these games this season. 17 assists for Mo Salah, but crucially a second goal for Liverpool in a good moment and in a big moment for them. And it's Alexis McAllister who had the finish. Newcastle want to get one back quickly. Oh, Gordon's cross there was a threat. That was cleared away by Liverpool at the back post. Still a threat there from Newcastle. Cross into the box. Over the head of everyone in there, and I think Alexander-Arnold got ahead to it. They put it out for the throw to Newcastle. The Magpies just going to make a triple change here in a moment. William Asula, Lewis Smiley are two of those that are coming on. And now that song that they sung at the Etihad of the weekend, Liverpool, is being sung again. We're going to win the league, and now you're going to believe us. And Szoboszlai switching the ball to Gakpo. Stelge is up there. Gakpo brings it down. Back to Tsimikas. Out to Gakpo again. He's gone to the left side. Diaz has gone central since the substitution. Tsimikas out wide to Gakpo again. Cross now to Gravenberch. Gakpo, Gravenberch, and gives it back to Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool pass it around crisply and sharply at the minute. Proper quality from Liverpool. 25 minutes to go. And we shall not be moved is another from that long and very thick hymn sheet. It's not a sheet, it's a book. Their songbook of Liverpool. As deep as any. And they're ringing through all the different hits that they have, of which there are many. The crowd not just contented, but very pleased with once again what they're seeing from their team this evening. And I think a little bit of it will be the fact that Arsenal once again have dropped points. And surely at this stage, if it ends up like this, with Liverpool winning and Arsenal again dropping points, surely it will be Liverpool's to win, and it will be when and not if. Salah dribbling into the box here. Mo Salah closed down at the last seconds. Will be a goal kick to Newcastle. He's close there, Salah. Having a bit of fun now is the Egyptian. Goes up against Hall, chops inside, then takes his man away, ticks on Tonali, ticks on Byrne, chops in between the two of them, and Tonali just gets a nick on the ball, and it will be a Liverpool corner on this right side. Mo Salah. I mean, I don't know what more you can say. This is the first corner of the night, taken short by Liverpool, and terribly well defended, terribly taken. That's well worked by Tsimikas, who will win the free kick there as he was being held. Anthony Gordon was the one that committed that foul. They're going to make 4 changes here, Newcastle, in one go. Barnes, Trippier, Miley and Asula are all coming on. That is some 4 changes. Very rare you see 4 changes in one go. 3 is more common, but 4 is very rare. in one go. I'll confirm full details of that in a moment. Those are the players coming on: Miley, Trippier, Barnes and Osula are the 4 that are coming off the bench, and the 4 that are going to be taking their seats. I will tell you in a moment or two when I have the full details of that. It's a lot of information to take in one go, I can tell you that much. Van Dijk to Konate, and Alexander-Arnold with a reverse ball. Salah finding space, and Salah having more fun. That was good work from Lewis Hall there. Has stayed with him the vast majority of the night so far. And still Mo Salah has an assist in the game. It's quite remarkable. Lewis Hall hasn't had a bad game. He's actually done quite well against Salah. But he's just inevitable. And Salah at this minute in time, just inevitable. It's Konate with a swung ball trying to find Gakpo. Bounces down for Tsimikas on the left side. Van Dijk. And Tsimikas will just give it back to Alisson. And to Alexander-Arnold. Ooh. Just about kept a hold of that ball there, Alexander-Arnold. I can tell you those quadruple substitutions for Newcastle was Barnes, Osula, Miley and Trippier all on, replacing Willock, Wilson, Tonali and Livramento. So 4 substitutions in one go for Newcastle there, as we edge towards the final 20 minutes here at Anfield. And Liverpool, who lead by 2-0, and Luis Diaz feeling a bit of pain there. There is a few attacking options if Liverpool are to make a change again on the bench. Luis Diaz will keep an eye on for him. Gakpo. Gravenberch just behind Diaz as the ball came across. Given away now, Osula. Trying to make the most of his movements, but that's fabulous defending from Kostas Tsimikas. Gets it back to Alisson again. There's time and space to find Alexander-Arnold. Holds on to the ball well. Salah chips it round the corner. Szoboszlai trying a little flick. Couldn't find Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool are just toying with Newcastle at times here. Having fun. Szoboszlai gets it back off Hall. A nice Salah with space on the right side. Salah to Alexander-Arnold. Just ahead of him. Just ahead of Alexander-Arnold. He made the underlapping run. But once Hall was out of the way, Salah had acres of space to break. And he just tried that little outside of the left foot pass round the corner to Alexander-Arnold. It was just slightly ahead of him. And into the hands of Nick Pope. Share. Breaking forward a little bit here. Guimaraes better from Newcastle. Ball across. Alisson making a good save. And Alexander-Arnold with a clearance. Straight into an attack for Salah, who's 1-on-2 here. Salah on his own. Mo Salah trying to go for the outside of the boot again. And the ball hit wide by Luis Diaz. High is one chance that almost scoring for Newcastle, turning into Liverpool almost scoring about 5-10 seconds later. Ever so close. Salah again. That pass is absolutely sensational. And Luis Diaz just couldn't get enough direction on it to take it across goal. And it just hits the side netting on the outside. But it all came right after Alisson made a good save to deny Newcastle. Mo Salah, 17 Premier League assists. 7 more than any other Premier League player. A number of them on 10. But Salah by far the highest. And quite clear in that. 7 assists ahead of anyone else in the Premier League. Ball chipped into the box by Murphy. Away by Alexander-Arnold. Brought down by Hall. But Salah gets back in. Defending. Here is Miley. Guimaraes. Back to Cher. To Trippier. And field to Guimaraes. And back to Fabian Cher again. Well, Liverpool, since losing 3 in a row between January and March 2021 at home, Liverpool have won each of their last 12 midweek Premier League home games by an aggregate score of 35-6. That's a midweek with classes Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday games here at Anfield. Their last 12 they've won by an aggregate score of 35-6. Newcastle have won just one of the last 27 Premier League games against sides starting the day at the top of the table when they beat Chelsea 2-1 in December 2014 under Alan Pardew. Corner here for Newcastle. They're first of the game. Gordon will whip it in right-footed. Headed away by Van Dijk. Into the mix again by Murphy. Cleared away by Gravenberch as Alisson was trying to come and claim. Gravenberch there clearing away once more. It's the header from Cher brought down by Hall. Here is Lewis Hall. Down to the left side, finds Gordon. Whipping one in, and Alisson had it spotted and had it covered all the way. And now he gets Kostas Tsimikas space to break here, finding Gakpo. 5 on 5. Diaz there. With a well overhit pass to Tsimikas and put it out for a throw. So going to make a double substitution here. Liverpool with Wataru Endo and Jarell Kwanzaa are readying themselves. Getting some tactical information before they enter the fray. Hall back to Pope. Now Cher finding Guimaraes. Pulls it round to find Murphy, who skips away from a challenge, brought down and is going to get the free kick. Inadvertently McAllister was the one involved. And now they're going to make a double substitution here, Liverpool. So Wataru Endo is going to be coming on and Ryan Gravenberch is coming off. And a second substitution for Liverpool here in this moment in time is going to see Jarell Kwanzaa come onto the field. And Jarell Kwanzaa is going to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. So 2 substitutions. Just see out the game now for Liverpool. Some fresh legs in defensive areas. And just to settle this game and see it out to win. And Wataru Endo and Jarell Kwanzaa coming on to try and fulfill that prophecy. Free kick for Newcastle. Long one pumped up into the air. Flicked on. Headed away by Kwanzaa. Only as far as Guimaraes though. It's Murphy. Oof. Tsimikas there almost absolutely clattering him, but Murphy did well to evade that challenge. Miley. Gordon trying to switch the ball out wide. Didn't get as much pace on it as he would have expected. And now Liverpool on the move again. So Szoboszlai out to Salah. Bodies to target. Mo Salah swings it towards Diaz. Takes it down. Diaz through. Cody Gakpo in the box. Couldn't get his shot off. It falls. Salah battling. Gakpo in again. Cleared away by Newcastle. Endo with a nice challenge, but couldn't keep the possession there as it's back with Hall for Newcastle. Miley. Now Guimaraes. That was close from Liverpool to finding a third. Cody Gakpo in the area. Here is Guimaraes. Wide to Murphy and Tsimikas battling. Last touch off Costa Simicast through into Newcastle. Reminder for you that we've Premier League action tomorrow. West Ham against Leicester, 8 o'clock to round off Matchday 27. But this weekend's the 5th round of the FA Cup on LFS. Liverpool aren't involved in that. Newcastle are. Liverpool knocked out in the last round by Plymouth. And we'll see the action later on this weekend. 11 minutes of the 90 remaining. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0. Barnes down the left side for Newcastle. Chips it into the box. Konate got up for the header. Will bounce behind for a corner. Corner here on this left-hand side for Newcastle then. Gordon to deliver. Into the box. Headed away by Endo. There's a Liverpool player down. But they're going to get the counter here. Because here comes Salah. Bursting through. Salah being held. But he's still got the ball. And he's now just stopped. And it's going to be pulled back for a free kick. And a yellow card's going to come out here to Jacob Murphy. Took one for the team there, Murphy. Kind of had to, really. Mo Salah was charging. And he had to take that yellow card. Just over 10 minutes to go. Costa Simicast going to take this free kick down for Liverpool. But he's up for it. Simicast whips it in round the back, and Joel Kwanzaa was the target. And it went all the way through and out for a goal kick. Kwanzaa trying to claim that it came off Dan Burn. Went all the way through and out the other end. Van Dijk, eternal there as he stepped away from the pressure. There's another Liverpool player down here. It's Alexis McAllister. He has a bit of pain on his right side or whatever is going on there. So he's down at the moment. See it again. Guimaraes and McAllister maybe involved. He kind of caught McAllister, yeah. As he kicked the ball forward there, Guimaraes. Yeah, he just caught McAllister on the follow-through. Don't think there's any malice in it at all. Well, Newcastle have never won away from home against the top team of the Premier League table. In 20 previous attempts, drawn 5 and lost 15 of those games. They've also lost 13 of the last 17 Premier League away games on Wednesday. 1-2, drawn 2 out of the other 17, with their only wins in this run coming at Bournemouth in July 2020 and West Ham in April 2023. Kwanzaa down the right side to Salah on the turn, finding Szoboszlai, gets it away, danger quickly as Endo will play it back to Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool just managing this game to the end now, really. That's the job at hand. There'll be another 3 points they'll be hoping, and another game closer to the desired objective, of which none of the players will talk about, of course. They will be coy, they will be quite reserved when it comes to talking about title hopes and title chances. It's the media's job, but sure, those players, no doubt they will know that there's no chance bigger than the one they have at this minute in time to lift a Premier League trophy at Anfield come the end of May. That's lovely from Szoboszlai, riding the challenge, lays it off to Mo Salah. Salah chopping onto his left, trying to find the far in the near corner. Well blocked. Salah will retrieve the ball again though. Finding Kwanzaa. Well, Mo Salah has scored and assisted in 11 league games this season, extending the Premier League record and becoming the first player to do so in 11 matches in the top 5 European leagues since Lionel Messi did it in 2014-15. If he scores tonight, that will make it 12 games that he's done it this season. Because he's already got the assist for Szoboszlai's goal. Or not for Szoboszlai's goal, for McAllister's goal, apologies. Byrne to Harvey Barnes. Does well to escape the pressure. Miley does well under a bit of duress, finding Asula. Held off the challenge well. Gakpo trying to charge down against Miley. And now Trippier. Wide on the right comes Murphy. Up against Tsimikas. Back to Trippier. Finding Guimaraes. Wide to Kieran Trippier again. Back to Murphy. Liverpool with nearly everybody back. Defending. Here's Cher breaking into a little bit of space. McAllister seeing him away. Only as far as Guimaraes. She finds Hall and now Barnes. Two up against him. Barnes squares it across, finding Miley. Tries to whip it into the box. With a header off Fabian Cher and behind for a goal kick. Liverpool are going to make another double substitution. Curtis Jones and Darwin Nunez are going to be coming on for the final couple of minutes. And Alexis McAllister, scorer of the second goal for Liverpool, is going to be coming off. Just a class finish. A lovely assist by Mo Salah. And Alexis McAllister scoring, as I said at the time, probably a crucial goal for Liverpool at a crucial point in the game. He's going to be replaced by Curtis Jones. And Luis Diaz is also going to make way, and he's going to be replaced by Darwin Nunez. Newcastle are going to make a fifth and final change of their own. Sean Longstaff's going to be coming on very shortly. Not just yet, though. Well, they actually have. They've changed their mind there. They are going to make that change now. So Guimaraes gives the armband to Kieran Trippier and will make his way off in replacement of Sean Longstaff. Both sides using their 5 substitutes available to them. Eddie Howe made 4 in one go. Allison going long. Salah with a flick on header, finding Szoboszlai. And Szoboszlai returning the favour. And now Mo Salah striding towards the goal. Hit the shot. Well saved by Pope. Mo Salah again. What more can you say? I mean, there's just so many, only so many descriptions and adjectives you can use to really display how incredible Mo Salah is. And what Liverpool have at this minute is probably a better version of Mo Salah than they've ever seen. That's saying something with his displays in previous seasons. That's lovely from Szoboszlai. And Konate back to Allison. He himself has the confidence just to try and dribble past Anthony Gordon there. As Konate goes long. Again, Salah with a flick-on header, finding Nunez. A nice Salah. Salah down the right. Tried to return. Nunez will get the break of the ball here. Couldn't find a shooting opportunity, but he will get the corner. Again, really, it's positive from Liverpool again. Not giving up on a third goal. It's nice to be in that sort of situation, on the verge of your 20th league win of the season, and you haven't even played 30 games yet. This is their 28th league game of the season, Liverpool. 20 wins, it would be, as it stands. 7 draws and 1 defeat so far this campaign. They would be in 67 points and will go 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. As Kostas Tsimikas takes this corner. Left-footed delivery, deep round the back. Pope, oh, he dropped it, and it's gone in. Although they're going to give a foul on Nick Pope. Well, that looked less than convincing from the Newcastle goalkeeper. See it again. I mean, he got a clean... I think he's got very lucky there, Nick Pope, to be given a foul. I mean, he got full grip of the ball and then just lost his grip all of a sudden. Konate was there to try and win the ball, and I think he's a bit unlucky there, Ibrahima Konate, that foul was given against him. Maybe Liverpool should have had a third as we hit the 90-minute mark here at Anfield tonight, and we will have 7 added minutes. I don't even think the officials want this game to be done and dusted. 7 added minutes then. I would guess that the use of 10 substitutions in the second half would probably go a long way to explaining why we have so much added time. And the number of stoppages at the start of the half, of course, would add to that factor. Konate. Nice chest by Szoboszlai. Back to Ibrahima Konate. And all the way back to Allison. It's just imperial from Liverpool, really. You know, it's got to a point where their gap will have got to a point at the top of the table where you're just calling them the champions elect. You're just saying they're the champions in waiting, really. Just by far they've been the best side in the Premier League this season. Their quality, their consistency, their sheer depth and squad has just been miles better than anyone else. And their gap truly reflecting the difference. Endo plays a nice ball down the left side here for Tsimikas. Now Jones. Jones. Back to Konate. Well, this will go down as Liverpool's 32nd win of the season in 43 games. Only Real Madrid are in any sort of vicinity with that. And Liverpool with the most wins of any side in Europe's top 5 leagues in all competitions this season, with 31. And this will be their 32nd if they see it through. Here's Nunez on the turn. Lays it off for Salah. Trying to get another assist. Gakpo! Whoa! That would have been some goal. Mo Salah over the top to Gakpo. And he goes for the overhead kick. And it was just a whisker away. Oh, they're pressing high here. Nunez all over the back of Newcastle. And almost getting something. Darwin Nunez. Say what you want about his finishing, but his sheer desire to get to the ball is certainly Bettered by no one. That's great work by Gakpo, and Nunez almost inadvertently finding Cody Gakpo there. As Jones wins the ball back. Now Szoboszlai, who will hit another one. That one deflected. And Newcastle could deal with it, but they're just trying to get it away. Liverpool's putting so much pressure on them. They're suffocated at the back there, Newcastle. Arguably, Liverpool's press now is probably better than it has been in a lot of the second half. Maybe because they haven't really needed to do it. You know, we talk a lot of the time about how well Liverpool can play. I don't think Liverpool have needed to play incredibly well tonight. They've scored 2 goals in good moments, like they did against Manchester City, and just being so strong defensively has just cruised them to another good victory. And that's when you know you're just having fun at this point. It's 4 minutes of the 7 are up, so we've still 3 more minutes of added time to go. And Gakpo finding Kwanzaa. Salah down the right hand side takes on Hall. Mo Salah trying to dribble his way through and gets the touch off Lewis Hall that he wanted, and Liverpool get the corner. They're only their 3rd corner of the night. Very low number of corners tonight. That's only the 5th corner of the game. This evening we didn't have a single corner in the whole first half. All of the corners coming in the second. Szoboszlai with a corner, right footed. Cleared away by Asula. Endo will retrieve. Jones trying to split the defence there in Newcastle. Couldn't end up doing so, and as Nunez tried to win the ball back, committed a foul in the process, and Newcastle get a free kick. Share. That's a good block by Liverpool there, but great ball, although Salah makes better of it than he could have, really. And Hall scrambling to put it out for a throw. It looks like Liverpool's winning run and unbeaten run is going to be continuing. The longest unbeaten run of any Premier League side. Arsenal were close to them until the weekend when their unbeaten one was swept away by West Ham. Here comes Salah down the right side again. Hall did well again, as he has done all night. But Salah still gets a corner somehow. This time off Anthony Gordon. It just looks like he's having fun. He doesn't even need to look like he's trying. Mo Salah. It doesn't look like Salah's had very much kind of energy or exertion needed from him tonight. Don't think he's broke a sweat. Now, Tsimikas will take this corner. Last few seconds. Corner chicken shorts. And that's the final whistle. For the 20th time this season, Liverpool have won a Premier League game. After 28 games, they sit 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. It's a matter of when, rather than if now, Liverpool are going to be the Premier League champions. Keep your calendars open, because it could be any date between now and the end of May that Liverpool will be crowned Premier League champions. Arsenal again faltering away at Nottingham Forest, and again giving further gap to Liverpool at the top. Mo Salah again assisting with the second goal for McAllister, but the first and the only real attempt of the first half from Dominik Szoboszlai gave Liverpool the lead. A game where once again they really haven't had to hit top gear. They've just had to be good enough to see off Newcastle, and by far they were that tonight. 2 goals from 2 midfielders. Their attackers didn't even need to show up tonight, and they still put Newcastle to the sword. They're the champions in waiting, and Liverpool made it look easy tonight against a top 4 contender. Final score at Anfield. It is finished. Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 0. And there it is. Liverpool with that 2-0 victory at home. Their 10th home win of the season in the Premier League. Their 20th league win of the season. It's just remarkable. And they've only played 28 games. There's still 10 games to go for Liverpool this season. They have a free weekend because they don't have FA Cup action. Their next action is when they head to Paris for the Champions League next week. We'll tell you about that at the weekend. But for now, Liverpool winners tonight in the Premier League against Newcastle. Let's show you what the table looks like then, with just one more game to come in Matchday 27. Now, of course, 2 teams will have played already 28 games, in Aston Villa and Liverpool, because of Liverpool's League Cup appearance. So they will have already played their game in hand. So let's have a look. Liverpool, top of the tree, as they have been for 150 days, I believe it is, in this season, which is quite crazy to take into account. But look at that. 28 games gone, 21, 7 draws, 1 defeat, and 67 points on the table. Arsenal, 13 points, a long way back, 13 points behind on 54. They have a game in hand, of course, as do Nottingham Forest, who are on 48. Manchester City on 47, making up the top 4. Chelsea and Newcastle, 5th and 6th on 46 and 44 respectively. And then a clutter of teams between 7th and 10th. Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham and Aston Villa, all separated by a point. Into the bottom half, and Brentford contain themselves, stay in the bottom, but are now just 4 points off 10th placed Villa, so they're making the charge, and they have a game in hand on Aston Villa, so they're making a charge for top half. Are Brentford with their draw earlier against Everton. Crystal Palace, big victors over Villa last night, they're in 12th. Tottenham falling to defeat for the first time in a while, which is rare to say, but for the 14th time this season. They have lost. They lost to City tonight, 33 points. United also, they won tonight, 33 points. And Everton on 32. West Ham play tomorrow, so they've played 26 games. They're on 30 points, a good 8 points clear of Wolves, who themselves are 5 points clear of the relegation zone, where Ipswich and Southampton have already been beaten. Leicester will play tomorrow night. Right. That's the way the league table looks, with 1 game to go, with Brighton, Palace, Fulham, Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City and Liverpool all winning, with Forest, Arsenal and of course Brentford and Everton all dropping points. That is 9 out of 10 done for Matchday 27. Join us tomorrow as West Ham take on Leicester, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then the FA Cup 5th round is this weekend. That's it from us tonight. Liverpool, you would have to say, and I don't think many will argue, they might be champions-elect, and they might be lifting the Premier League trophy at the end of the season. Night-night.